welcome to episode 30 of the Weekly Debate Discussion Show. Hashtag shout. That's right, folks. We've reached episode 30 of our humble show. That's 1 day, 14 hours, 39 minutes, and 38 seconds of content, all for you guys. And from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for joining us on Blip TV and YouTube.
As usual, we'll be taking a look at some of the best and worst Twitter posts in Tweets of the Week, and in the final installment of OC Month, where we'll be discussing our original characters.
Also today is the 5th ever Shout Quiz. Now, can Adam successfully retain his title, or will the Geek King walk away as the two-time hashtag Shout Quiz champion? Well, before we can find out any of that stuff, let's first meet the panel.
I am Azeroth of Legend, middle name Barabbas, also known as the... Oh, sorry, I have the low walk of one.
And I'm Steve103.
Thank you for that, Dan. Thank you.
And I'm Steve103. And as usual with us this week is a man so geek, he knows all 2,000 verses of the Tamaran Poem of Gratitude. And he is the only man that could beat Darth Vader in an epic rap battle of history. It's the Geek King!
That's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the fuck is the Tamaran Poem of Gratitude?
It's from Teen Titans.
Oh,
it's
cool.
Starfire.
There you go.
So, how you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah, well, excellent. Let's not waste any more time. Geek, what is the next segment?
Apparently I introduced the Tweets of the Week in my usual awesome style, which means it must be Tweets of the Week!
Damn, Skibby, it's Tweets of the Week. So, Adam and I have some tweets for you all. So, Adam, why don't you kick us off with your first tweet?
I will indeed. From @SportsGreat, I can accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I can't accept not trying. Michael Jordan.
Okay, my first one is from @Sabed0M, or Mr. Grumpy Gills. Just been diagnosed as colourblind. I had no idea. It came right out of the green.
Hey, Mr. Grumpy Gills.
Yeah, next one.
@Depressed Darth. When Luke is having trouble with his Apple Maps on the iPhone 5, he hears Obi-Wan say, "Use the Force, Luke."
From @UberFacts, or UberFacts Verified. Yes, it's a verified account. A teaspoon of sugar after eating something really spicy will completely neutralise the heat sensation.
My last tweet is from @SteveAustin in BSR. Damn it, looks like I got a classic case of insomnia. If that's not already enough, I can't sleep either.
And from @FB_BNB, or Matthew Buck Film Brain, as he goes, wait, Paranormal Activity 4 is an IMAX release in the States? Because nothing says found footage like IMAX. So, Dan, what were those? Those were our
Tweets of the Week.
Yeah, so with all those tweets out of the way, let's mosey on into the last installment of our monthly segment, Original Characters Month, or OC Month. Now, so far from likes of Dan, we have heard characters such as, Felicity?
Felicia Collins.
Felicia Collins, Norman is normal.
Norman Smith is normal.
And you had, is it Bruce Griller or something?
Brutus Monsoon.
Bruce Monsoon. So close. So obviously we're going to hear the last of your characters here. Adam's going to be talking to us about one of his characters, and I'm going to be talking about Raquel Arameth. So we'll go in the order that we've always been doing it. Dan, why don't you kick us off with your final character for this month?
I did my fire too. I might round out the characters for this particular run. Jack Riggs is the next one. He's clean-shaven, buzz-cutted looking guy, 21-year-old average looking dude.
Yep.
Slow on the uptick, really fucking slow on the uptick.
Wow.
Wears a pinstripe suit with suspenders, waistcoat, and pocket watch. He's real classic-looking suit.
Yeah.
But he's got pheromones, you see.
Yeah.
And the problem with the pheromones is he can change his scent to adapt to around the people, to manipulate them or whatever he wants. But usually he sets this up by mistake. Wrong time. Maybe he's chatting up. Maybe he's talking to her last, and all of a sudden the pheromone sets off, and his girlfriend is like right behind him and going, "What's going on?" He's going, "What? I don't do nothing." A little in-joke that I was writing all the time was that when he's asked for his name, he'll say Adam.
Yeah.
Where his name's Jack.
Yeah.
Because of a good friend of ours.
Yes,
who's
indeed.
called Adam, but when asked for his name at college, referred Jeff.
The great Jeff.
And it was, why'd you say your name was Jeff if it was Adam? It's the first name that came to mind.
What? Adam didn't come into your head at any point.
There was already three Adams. The first thing that came to mind was Jeff.
Yeah.
Okay, Jeff. And it's kind of, a lot of it is taken around because I've never seen Jeff single. in the entire time that I've known him, he's never been single for longer than a month.
Aye.
Bastard. And but the whole idea, Jeff was always slow in the uptake of things and whatnot. Be bright as a light one day, and then the next minute, you're talking to him, literally sitting there talking to him, and you go, "What?" And hear a word you said, and you're going, "I've just talked to you for an hour."
Yeah.
You answered me. No, I didn't. One of Jeff's famous ones was, of course, "Jeff, how do you do that?" "Jeff, just lucky, I guess." But Jax is very much is around that sort of thing. Jax would be in the concept. You got Brutus as the best friend of Norman, and Felicia as the love interest. Jax would be that friend that is there as much of him for Norman, but they're not as close, and he wouldn't be as highlighted. But he is really close to Brutus. So if Brutus is there, usually you would see Jack in some sort of way. The last character is Dave Arrows. Dave's a little bit younger, long frizzy black hair, bit like Slash or Brian May.
All right.
Yeah.
That sort of look. And he can project like an illusion.
Mm-hmm.
Originally, it was a transformation type thing you could literally turn in. But this is now I changed it to an illusion of anyone's dreams or nightmares. It's completely his choice. But due to his darker nature, he usually chooses nightmares to see what people are scared of. And because he likes to have a joke with people. He bullies Norman consistently with this. Norman comes out of the corner and all of a sudden his nightmare would be there. Why? Why every time? At the point, Dave's sitting there going, "It's funny, it's why." Anyway, why is that your nightmare? And, that's the sort of thing. He wouldn't be a main character. He'd be one of those ones that would be... you'd see now and again. He'd appearing. If the group was all together, Dave would be there. But you wouldn't necessarily see him if there was just a couple of them there.
Yeah.
But then again, you might do because you don't know what Dave's currently up to. I like the idea of giving it because obviously this is the is fast. It's the is fast one. So you got Norman is normal, Felicia is fast, Brutus is strong. Jack was going to be Jack Riggs is smelly.
All right, because of the pheromones. All right.
And there was going to be Dave Arrows is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Because he would choose nightmares,
yeah.
But I was gonna make it so I could do variants, and it would be Dave Arrows is scary and Dave Arrows is dreamy. So I could give the two different ones, and it'd be two different appearances on the front. But it was just one of those ones where I could write. It'd be the same story. I just have to get the guy to do two different covers and that.
Yeah.
And, but I mean that would be the complete set, and it's based in a place called Hasawar City, and Hasawar means nothing. It's not a real city, it's nothing. What HASA actually means is the Health and Safety at Work Act.
All right.
I was sitting there at a course one day and
I thought that sounded familiar.
And they wrote it on a board. And I went, Hasawar City. And I wrote the entire half of this during a course that was all about health and safety, and it was like, yeah, fuck it, I'm going to write a comic in the back. It's a future year, 2022. It's not it's like a non-sci-fi fantasy version of a future.
Yeah.
So, it's while there is projections and stuff like that, most people still can't afford it. It's more Minority Report and Star Trek. Think like what you'd expect Tokyo and New York City and London to look like in 10 years' time.
Yeah. I imagine London would look pretty much the same, but with more pigeon poop.
Holograms exist, but no one can really afford them and that.
Yeah.
The basics of the comics themselves, is a couple of days in the life of the character, and it would show the interaction of the group and everyone separates. Essentially, it's 5 comics where it would take over a term of, say, a month. That would be the longest. That would be the time scale. It's essentially. It was my way of going, well, how can I get these comic? How can I make a Pulp Fiction style movie in a comic form? And the idea was, well, you see certain scenes, but then you go and make different comics, different stories happen in that. Jax was going to be just Jax walking around happy to himself, and his story was literally he was going to be walking around, he'd meet up with his friends, go back with his girlfriend, then go to work, get off work, go to the pub, and then and it would just be to see how how his life was that much easier, and he could be so much simple because of the fact that if someone was giving him a hard time, his body would react in the way of going, this will just make life easy. There you go. Yeah. And people can fuck off. But at the same time, when he's trying maybe someone's giving him a hard time and he's trying to get, he's sitting going, I've had enough. All of a sudden, this pheromone comes off and this person starts to fall in love with him. And he's like, oh, no, leave me alone, bye, blah. He'd run out the room and that screaming and that.
Yeah.
Dave was going to be at university. So it'd be him in his dorm, and then he'd walk around, he'd go in there, meet up with people. And it'd be seeing how in one-on-one situations, how he'd work. And I was going to give him a love angle. I never get as far as writing that character. What I was going to do was going to have him everyone stayed away from him because he was the guy that scared you. He was a dark guy, he's a weirdo. And I was going to show that even in this world where everybody's a weirdo, really, that people were still going to be singled out because of their powers may not be glamorous. But Dave's was, even though Dave's was, you'd be able to show anyone their dream at any point in time, or show them a nightmare if someone's pissing you off. But the idea was essentially it was going to be because he always chooses nightmares, and then this girl was just going to say, I don't believe you're really that scary. Yeah. This whole thing was going to be I don't believe it. I think you're doing it for fun and all this. And then she wouldn't be scared of her nightmare. He'd go, he goes, I'm not scary, fine. And then he'd show her the nightmare, and he'd just go, that's really fucking cool. That looks just like it. She'd sit there and go, how'd you do that? That's amazing. That looks just like it. And then he'd sit there and go, you're not scared? Why would I be scared? I see this all the time. That sort of thing. I'm used to it. And then when she's I had the last couple of panels wrote out, and the last couple of panels were going to be. Because I work very weird, right? I don't know about you, but sometimes I'll have certain panels in my head when I think about comics. Yeah. Certain pages will be, I'll know what I want, so I'll write them first and then work the story. Or, if I have, say, the panels at the beginning that I want to show. Like with Norman, for instance. I knew I wanted to show the characters, I knew I wanted to show him sitting there talking to the people about how powers sucked. I knew the powers I wanted to show sucking, like flying. He shows people flying. He goes, yeah, flying's glamorous, right? Yeah. You say, yeah, I know. You're saying that guy with the cape and the blue. Yeah, I know. Everyone's seen him because I wasn't going to go out and say Superman. But I'm going to have I'm going to have the artist draw this version of Superman that we couldn't get sued for, but was obviously Superman. Yeah. That guy with the cape and the pants. Oh yeah, and he flies and look, see it, there it is now. Yeah, yeah. Now look at the reality, and then you see this guy, similar to when you see a motorbike, and then and you're going, yeah, motorbike looks glamorous as hell, it's off it, Sons of Anarchy, looks great, but in reality, it's more like Wild Hogs, where you've got bugs and shit in your face. I was going to have him do that. Yeah, now it looks great, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah. Now look at his face, and there'd be bugs and stuff, and then the next panel would be a bird, bang, right in the face, and you'd see him spinning off. So there's certain panels I have in my mind that I write, and then I think, right, well, the story can flow from here. Yeah. And it's like, well, how do I get Norman sitting there? Well, Norman's a blogger. So what would he do? He'd be going home at night after whatever he did, or during the day. He'd be sitting there, he'd be blogging. And this was, bearing in mind, around the time I was really getting into my Tumblr, which I've got into even more now, because I'm starting maybe a weekly, bi-weekly blog, I'm not sure at this point. I know I've done 2 so far on a weekly basis, but don't expect that to continue. It's when I can. But so, and the idea was, I was like, yeah, he's a blogger, so what's he do? He sits all his time on blogs, So what would he be doing? Well, he'd be blogging to people, the world of powers, that powers suck. Yeah. And even today, people don't have powers, they don't have anything, but people who have lives that seem great. Yeah. Find something wrong on Tumblr consistently. You find people that say, relationships suck, and then the next minute they want a relationship. Yeah. So essentially, it was going to be that sort of thing. You'd find people even in the world of powers that didn't like powers. Yeah. So I thought, I'd have him blog. That's what you'd do. And so that was way. But with Dave, I had the last couple of panels wrote in my head, and Dave's last few panels would be him sitting there in the cafeteria, because that was going to be maybe a week after. They'd been talking to him every day. and he'd been thinking, and she hadn't been. She was running late.
Yeah.
He knew what time she was always there, and it was going to be she was running late, and he'd be thinking to himself, and when he was thinking of her, and the next thing you know, I never worked out quite how he did the illusion.
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe maybe he does it with his hands, or maybe he could just he thought about it and it appeared. So what I was going to do was have this time it could be maybe he did it in a number of ways, whatever was easier. And this way he was going to think about it, and when he thought about her, he subconsciously, without even realizing what he was doing, he projected her dream on the table, and then she sits down and goes, "Ah, that's sweet of you." It was one of those, and she'd go, "What? Oh crap!" And it'd just disappear, and she'd go, "What's wrong with you?" "Nothing." And that would be the last the panel you'd see with him sitting, go, "Nothing," and she just so you'd have that big, the big panel would be three panels, big panel on the top with two smaller panels on the bottom.
Uh-huh.
The big panel would be her going, sitting there when it disappeared, going, "What's wrong with you?" and him going. And then you just see him saying nothing. On the smaller panel, on the bottom left-hand corner, it would be him just kind of blushing underneath his hair. And then the other panel would just be her with a little smirk on her face, because she knew what was there. And it was one of those ones, I could continue that story, but I didn't have to. You knew what was going on from there. Yeah. Jack, like I say, Jack was just going to be one of those ones where he just walked around life and didn't realize that life was easier for him because of these pheromones.
Yeah.
he just thought everyone was really nice to him, and thought everyone was really super friendly when he was there, and just thought he was a straight up nice guy. And it was one of those ones that I just thought that'd be lots of fun to write this character that was so out of connected with everything because when he developed these powers that all of a sudden everyone became nice to him, and he didn't know why, and he didn't care why. It was just nice that everybody was nice. Yeah. So that was really cool thing for me. And hopefully there's 5 comics out of this, and then maybe do a 6th one where it was all, you could see the connecting points.
Yeah, all of them.
But yeah, that's the last of them 2 characters.
Right, Adam.
Hello.
What did you fire away, dude?
I'll probably talk about Cleanser. I have a bounty of different characters I would love to talk about, but it's the end of the month and I don't have time. Who knows? Maybe I'll just keep blagging about it in open forum.
That's what it's there for. It's an open forum.
I'll make a segment called Writer's Corner.
Right, we don't even know what next month's theme's going to be.
But
if we have one.
The first character I wrote for the entire Karma series was Karma. Otherwise, it would have been quite pointless to call it the Karma series. It would have been whoever I wrote first. But the point is, I wrote a couple of villains to begin with. You had a Spectre, who was he was accidentally the main villain. Like
as you said last week. Yeah,
it was retarded that he was.
He was just trying to find company.
Yeah, he was just lonely. But misery loves company. Blah 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 blah. But the second character I wrote was a character called Cleanser.
Yes.
And I'm going to get sorry, I just accidentally need you.
Sorry, dude.
I have the story thing. But Cleanser was one of the weirder characters I wrote. He was a killer with OCD, which kind of made life difficult for him because he hated mess. So it was kind of like it was about as impractical as you could think, to be honest.
And I imagine it would be.
There is actually a part I wrote later on where he's talking to Karma. He's been trained up, and Karma says, so why did you become a villain? He goes, I remember exactly why, but there is one problem. He goes, what? Goes, there is no clean way to do it. Do you know how difficult it is? And he does actually suggest loads of ways. Like, Karma starts explaining ways that are clean.
Yeah, strangulation. Poison they might throw up.
Yeah, and plus he's...
Strangulation, these marks.
And he doesn't like the idea of having to touch anyone.
That would work.
Yeah. But, in Cleanser, what with the OCD, it meant that it was fun to write, because it had to be more kind of action that... it had to be this weird form of action series in which nothing direct happened. You didn't go over and punch or kick, which is what I usually used to used to write, and I do have the story here, and just what it's done is it's destroyed itself. With logic.
It's died.
It died the death. Down the death. I can still talk.
That's up for debate.
Shut your face. Right, here it is.
We are not debating on this show. That's right now, anyway.
The reason he became a villain, his backstory was the OCD. The OCD which he had developed carried on in the workplace. There was a worker who had been berated by the guy. His name, it was David. The guy was called David. Are you okay, Dad?
I'm great, mate. No.
Carry on.
Sorry. The character was called David, and he was with the OCD. He was quite also he was really controlling over his workspace and
as he worked.
Yeah, and he took his company, the company he worked for, sorry, and he made a system designed to keep better track of records, which he was praised for.
Yeah.
And he starts to associate the control and the order with praise and good and stuff. So when this one worker who comes in starts messing it up, he gets upset.
Yeah.
This carries on over months and months and months, to the point where this worker grew to viciously hate David.
Yeah.
Viciously hate him for the kind of the berating he got.
Yeah.
To the point where one day David fired him point blank because the guy took a pen, broke it, snapped it, and threw the ink on David, and David went mad.
Yeah.
He couldn't quite cope with being touched by ink of all things, which stains. And
yeah.
So he just snapped. He snapped, started screaming, and fired him straight out. So David goes to a usual place, a bar, starts drinking, and goes home.
It's usually where you got to drink that, mate.
Yeah, well, pub,
bar, whatever you want to do.
restaurant, hotel, I suppose.
Yeah.
Back alley with a bum, with a...
With a bum?
God. Not a bum face. The point was, the worker knew where David lived.
Yeah.
Because the personnel records in the system that he'd been messing up.
Yeah.
So he paid a visit to David's house, and all he really meant to do was mess up the place. But he turns out he ended up accidentally killing David's wife. He never meant to. She just appeared in the house. That's when he'd broken in, and they had a struggle, and he pushed her back, and she fell on her head on the counter.
I'll ask you later quickly.
Yeah, that did escalate quickly. It got worse, though, because there was a witness to the killing of the mother, his daughter. Panicked, he killed her.
I was about to say, mother? What mother?
Panicked, he
a little bit lost there.
Panicked, he killed David's daughter. Now, of course, David got back.
Yes.
And the first thing was he shouted, "Honey, I'm home," and then started panicking because some shoes were out of place.
Right.
Then opens the door, and the living room is a bloody mess. And he just collapses. Just breaks down and starts, sobbing and crying and, saying, "I can fix this. I will fix it," and kind of goes mad. To the point where we cut to a couple of years later, and the worker, who's been employed by another business, and is walking home, and he gets kidnapped.
Mm.
He gets thrown into a bag, and he awakens in this empty, disused swimming pool. The swim baths.
Right, well, I think we worked out what a swimming pool is.
Yeah, most Americans won't know what a swim bath is.
Fair point. But he waits at a chair.
Good, yeah.
To see a figure in the dark standing at the other side.
Mm.
And he starts, shouting and swearing and cussing. And a throwing knife just hits him in the shoulder.
Mm.
And just more throwing knives as he starts cussing. And it turns out he goes, "Okay, just who are you? Where am I?" That kind of crap. After he realizes that everything he said is going to get knives thrown in him.
Yeah.
So they start, having a back and forth. This kind of speech about ruining his life and messing it up and control and order and the usual kind of stuff. And of course, David steps out the shadow and calls himself the Cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls the knives out. He's wearing gloves, obviously. Pulls the knives out and points towards the pool, which is full. To which he explains that the chemical concoction in the pool is a very, very strong bleach. So he kind of, while talking to him, explains the OCD, where it came from, that David never hated the worker, never wanted to kill him. Yeah, he never wanted to kill him. He just wanted him to understand and to work and use the system he'd made. The worker then begins to explain that he was berated, he hated him. And David or Cleanser goes, well, yeah, and now I hate you. You murdered my wife and daughter. I'm going to kill you. But it's too messy. It's too messy, so I reckon I've got to clean you up. So removing the knives, leaving the open wounds, he just kicks him in the pool full of bleach.
Ow, motherfucker!
That's gonna hurt like a motherfucker.
Yep, he goes to the pool, starts screaming, and Angel goes, fixed it, and leaves.
Yeah, you fixed it, did you?
Yeah, and the Cleanser's story after that is basically, he still has...
you know what's pretty sad? Now I've just clicked on why it's called Cleanser. I'm so tired.
But he goes and gets a janitorial job, like working around hospitals and things. Hence how he manages to get all of the bleach. Hence how he manages to get all the bleach and the equipment. And there was a point I did write in which he manages to get this mixture used in the experiment, which has the acidic properties and metallic properties. It's a liquid. And he throws someone in the pool and then electrically charges it with a defibrillator. And it just becomes this electric water field. Yeah, the MO for everything of him was, it was done with throwing knives to leave wounds and throwing knives to cut so he wouldn't have to kill anyone, like, directly. And if he kidnapped them, if they were a big kind of deal to him, if it was a personal kill, then he'd throw them, kidnap them into the pool. You go, bye-bye-bye, wipey on the windows. And that was his entire character. And Karma, he's the one that Karma sympathises with the most. There was a bit I wrote in which they do actually start talking. It's after he starts explaining the killing methods, where Cleanser goes, I never actually wanted to be a killer. I just wanted everything to be tidy and ordered. And they just start, like, Karma really sympathises because he just hear why David became Cleanser. And he understands why, and Karma, being the vigilante he is, can kind of see what happened. He doesn't justify it by any means. He still knows that killing is wrong. But he does kind of sympathise, and the story is Cleanser desperately trying to rehabilitate himself while fighting this new mad kind of homicidal desire for order. And Karma trying to rehabilitate him because he knows he's a good man. All he wants is order and to get over the death. And that was the character of Cleanser.
Cool. Right. Rukal Arameth. He's a character from an ongoing story called, well, it's basically a two-parter. The first part is called the Warrior Chronicles. The second part is called The Warriors Crusade. And it's a co-written novel by myself and former guest of the show, Lauren S. Wolf, my fiance. I'll give you a bit back the plot idea. Basically, the plot is two seemingly immortal warriors, one a hardened warrior, the other a mage of sorts, are teaming together to battle demons across the world. The story takes place in another reality version of England. It's a different kind of Earth. Very similar to our own, only one where magic has existed for so long, but hidden. Kind of like a hidden in plain sight kind of deal.
Yeah.
Where they almost exist on a different realm or a different plane of existence. So yeah, when basically, it turns out that there is a cosmic gamble going on between Nemesis, who was the Greek goddess or titaness of history in Greek mythology, where her duty was to record human history, and Crius, who is the son of a Titan, who was, I believe he was the one that helped Zeus overthrow his father in order to instill Zeus as the head of the Greek pantheon. But Creus never got a fair shot at running things. And the storyline is that after all these years, every single god that has ever stepped up to rule the earth is gone now. They're either in Tartarus, or they're in some other plane of non-existence. So that explains why there's been things like we've had Greek gods, Egyptian gods, Norse gods, the Christian god. In fact, in the story takes this after the Christian god has been killed, and he was the last god. But then Creus had come along in hiding and said, "Right, I want a shot." So Creus and Nemesis have a bet. It's basically this cosmic chess game, and if Nemesis wins, the universe stays as it is, and Creus, is banished to the far realms of the universe.
Oh.
If Creus wins, he gets to recreate the entire universe in his own image.
Of course, that's usually how those sort of bets work.
Yeah, I prefer like cosmic slap bets.
I mean, I had a chance to go into a bet like this myself, but I turned it down.
Well,
I regret that.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, Lita was on the TV wearing hardly anything. That was we couldn't record it at that point. But anyway, so it turns out that in this cosmic chess game, it's more than a metaphor. In the heavens, it's being pretty much played out almost as a chess game. Arameth, or Raquel Arameth, and his mage friend Lacrencia, known as Lark in it, are pretty much the only pawns that Nemesis has. And through manipulation and essentially manipulation, Nemesis gets these two to fight the battle for her. Whereas Creus has various demons that has been including one particular demon by the name of Gloria. We'll get back to her. So now, here's the backstory for Raquel Arameth. Raquel Arameth was born as a son to a god by the name of Chiron, who is the centaur god, and a dryad, which is like a nymph. So basically a fairy that can't get enough, right? Literally, that's what it is. A dryad is this nymph that cannot be satisfied. She'll just fuck anything. And pretty much, Chiron is only allowed on Earth so many times, repeat as I think it's once a year or something like that. It might be a lot less than that. So when he came down, he obviously had a son, but he had to return to the stars, which is where he normally dwells. So it wasn't like he was abandoning Arameth. He couldn't be around. So the mother, the dryad, would look after Raquel Arameth. But eventually, trying to look after a child when you're trying to get some, it gets in the way. So she left her son to her. It's kind of like an uncle of sorts. It's not a true family bloodline as we know it, because obviously we deal with mythical creatures. So it's basically a very complicated way, but they're related somehow. She calls him uncle.
Yeah.
With a person called Uncle Wolf, WOLFE, who is a twat. So basically, she dumps her son with this guy who's an assistant or apprentice of Hephaestus, the weapons maker.
Okay.
Right? While she goes and gets laid. That's essentially what it is. So now that Arameth is outside the protection of the Dryads, he can start to age. Wolf is not a nice person to Arameth. He isn't necessarily abusive by our standards, he would be, but being an immortal and being that this child is pretty much an immortal, it's not so much abusive as he is just a bit of a twat.
Yeah.
Pushing him, he does try training him first to be a smith to the gods himself, but Arameth has no interest. He has more of an interest in fighting. Well, Wolf, so you want to fight and smacks him around, because he can take it.
Yeah.
The only way it would really be abuse is if you start using the weaponry against him. Then we're talking about abuse, But
yeah.
Eventually he kind of realizes, I'm not fit to raise it. So he takes Arameth to his part mortal daughter, who is very much mainly human, very little. I think it's something like Angel or some shit like that. She's quite new. She's quite young in comparison. but says, look, here's this child, and by this point, the countries, England is like, we're talking about like Christianity has pretty much just reached British shores, and you are Christian or you're dead. Those are your two options, you know.
Yeah.
So she's playing into this Christian role, and you know, they accept him with open arms. And several years later, by 16 years old, you know, Arameth is a young strapping lad. You know, he's joined the military like as soon as he was, and everyone loves him because he just seems to have this natural ability, but he's also very keen to learn. And he's born in this, and they live in this village which is outside of a grand city, and the village kind of protects itself, but there's been nothing to attack it in like the hundreds of years, so it's always been safe. It's a nice little community. But several years later, Arameth is now about 18, and he's leading his own group of men because he's just ascended that quickly, and everyone just thinks that he must be a gift from gods or the angels. Well, not quite true, but we all know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
When villagers from the north come down, like it's like 4 people from the north come and say they've attacked our village, and he says, what's the condition of the rest of your villagers? And the 4 go, we are the rest of the villagers. We're all that's left. And they explain that they've been attacked by a demon called Gloria. Right. And that she is a foul demon who has consumed them. And Raquel Arameth goes, we shall take 50 of our strongest men from here in the city. So Arameth sends the word to I'm trying to remember what the exact name is. I use similar terms to Dungeon Keeper, Lord of the Land. I need 50 strongest men and I'll lead them. So yes, you take them. So he brings them to the village, and then he says, right, the majority of you stay here. I'll take like 10 or so with us. So he takes like a small group and leaves some of the strongest in the actual village to protect it. They head up north and find a village completely destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Arameth goes, right, we need to seek greater counsel. So near that village, there is a magical village which is hidden to mortal eyes. Only those that have had the touch of magic about them can enter.
Uh-huh.
So he goes into this village while everybody else waits outside, and he finds himself in this magical village by the name of Elawari. And he speaks to the head of the village there and says he needs counsel, because everyone who has a magical influence in them, whether they're gods, mage, whatever their connection is, knows instinctively of this village. It's like almost written into their brain.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he goes to the Great Library and he sees what he's up against, and he suddenly realizes that the guys out there won't be able to hack it. Not only that, the chances are when he gets to the village, everyone's already going to be dead. Now, at top speed, he can get there in 2 days. Gloria already has many days head start. So he basically speaks to the head of the village. He walks back out and he tells the men that they best stay in the village. And they're like, oh, we'll come down and help. And rather than lie to them, he says they're already dead. Because they pretty much are. He's not lying that they are pretty much dead. Any survivors he'll send back up. And the villagers, basically the villagers said, we'll welcome them with open arms.
Yeah.
And basically what will happen is they will eventually forget the tragedy, but remember the people. So they'll be able to find happiness in this village. It is a magical one after all. They'll be able to contribute to society, but they will be mortals.
Yeah.
So at least their tragedy will be short-lived.
Yeah.
As they saw. Because for me, I thought that was almost chilling, because I wanted to show that there was like this chilling side of, but at least their tragedy will be short-lived.
Yeah.
It was like short-lived for them, those 80 years, you know what I mean? So basically, Arameth leaves them there. One guy wants to go back down with him, so Arameth knocks him out and tells him to take him to the village and wipe his memory. Arameth then sprints as fast as he can, and he actually makes it in a day.
Wow.
That's how fast he's running.
Wow.
He makes it in 1 day because he's that determined to get back.
Okay.
As he arrives...
I bet he's knackered.
Yes.
Well, I bet he needs an emerge.
Basically, as he arrives, he finds the village in flames.
Oh.
He bursts into his house and home, and he finds that the entire place is destroyed, empty, and save for a bracelet that he had made, a pendant he had made for his little brother, which is now lying on the floor. And as he looks out, one of the back walls is missing, and you see this demon female demon with Warbound smile, wave, and walks away. And he tries to pursue, but he's so tired, he collapses on the ground. Turns out that Gloria, when they said Gloria consumed them, it wasn't a fucking metaphor, it was literal. She's a law demon.
Mm-hmm.
So he then dedicates. After the village is burnt to the ground, basically there's like 1 or 2 survivors who hid in the ashes. So with this event, he sends them up north.
Yep.
To the village. He says you'll know the way, and by instinct they do. You know, very early on there's a lot of plot convenience.
Yeah.
Basically for the pure fact, it's unimportant. The bits which are unimportant, right? Plot convenience.
Yeah.
But Arameth doesn't actually leave the village until it's completely burnt down to the ground. He's so exhausted. He could leave, but he's like, no.
I'll quit nap first.
This village burns with me. So he lies down. Once he wakes up to find that he's literally sleeping in ash. He crawls up and he makes his way back to Wolf.
That's just rude. He has to wake her up first.
He makes his way. He makes his way through the forest to find Wolf.
Yeah.
And Wolf sees the sadness in his face, and he's like, "Where's my daughter?" And he says, "Your daughter's dead." And Wolf's like, "Who?" And he says, "This demon they call her Gloria." And Hesses basically rips a bone from within Arameth.
It's nice of him.
And he starts to heal up pretty quickly because he's basically hit puberty and the speed's starting to kick in. And because he's around creatures similar to him, immortals, his power kind of activates a bit more. Whereas when he was with mortals, not so much.
Yeah.
So he could actually run faster, but it's kind of like an influence of nature now.
Yeah.
But with his bone, he melds it with metal and magic to create a sword that is infused with his own spirit, and it's called the Veritas. So now he has a sword which is imbued with his own soul. So the sword is a living sword. He says, "This weapon will kill her. Find her out and butcher her, and bring me the pieces." So basically...
Well, he is hungry like the wolf.
I hate you, Adam. But anyway, so centuries later, Arameth is still looking, and he finds out that there is someone that might be able to help him in his quest. He goes to this temple of mages, where they find Lark, or Arkancia, who's apparently is half mage, half god, but she doesn't have access to her god powers because they're held back by this penance she wears. Although we don't know this at this point in the story, but we know that something is holding back her god powers. But they said, "Oh yes, her mother ordered us to take care of her." It's like, "Who's her mother?" Says, "We don't speak her name. We're not worthy to speak her name unless we're in her presence." And he goes, "All right," and then he speaks to her. She's just a little girl at this point, and Arameth is like, "How's a little girl going to help me?" He says, "I assure you, she's quite powerful." And he says, "I don't doubt her power. It's her innocence. She's too innocent. I can't bring her with me. Do you know what I do?" And they say, "Trust me, she's lost all innocence." And it's kind of the character of Lacrencia is written by Lorna Swall, and there is a very dark side to what happened to her, basically at the hands of her father, which is why she's in the care of the temple. But suffice to say, she has no innocence left. It was taken from her. But he comes back a few years later, and she's grown up to young adult, which sparks him off to go, there's something not quite right here. There's something they're not telling me. And together they go off and kill demons and all the rest, looking for Gloria. So now we're in the present day, and they're still searching. And that's when as the one around, the Lacrencia hears news of the temple. Says, "I need to return to my temple. Something's wrong." And this is pretty much the beginning of the book. A lot of the story is told in retrospective.
Oh.
This book actually starts at this point where they say goodbye. And she heads back to the temple, and Arameth goes off and continues his search. And then you get everything explained, leading up to the point where we rejoin them. And whilst Arameth is trekking, he ends up in North Pole, and ends up being visited by Nemesis, who offers to make him far more powerful and unleashes hidden potential if he'll agree to assist her on a quest. And of course, he hates gods. Because he's...
What a bastard, eh?
Yeah, because he's met a few.
Oh.
And he hates them. He despises them. And he's actually... If it were possible, you could technically say he's racist towards them. Because he even hates good gods.
Xenophobic?
Supposedly, deophobic.
Deophobic.
Yeah.
Oh, you said it first. Well, now it's going to seem more clever. And I'm a duck.
But anyway, there's only one difference. But he's deophobic. He hates all gods because he seems to be in a position of power that they're not worthy of having. So, but Nemesis says, but this will find you Gloria. He goes, what do you mean? He says, well, Gloria's working for Creus. So naturally he accepts. Meanwhile, Nemesis goes to Lacrancia, and it turns out that Nemesis is her mother. Which is what makes her half-god. And of course, Arameth doesn't know she's half-god. All Arameth knows is that she's half-mage. The monks of the temple didn't tell her he was half-god, so it's like, So Nemesis tells her of the whole situation, so them to be up together, funnily enough, in battle, where he's in a fight with someone, and then Lacrancia jumps in, and they're both battling with each other. Fast-forwarding a little bit, there's a lot of different elements brought in, a lot of specific stuff which I couldn't mention, but for the sake of speeding up, Lacrancia, after a particular battle when Arameth is about to be killed by Gloria, achieves her god powers. Nemesis basically tells her how to access her powers by breaking the pendant, and Lacrancia is now essentially... Watch out for the laptop.
I know.
Is now essentially a broken character.
Essentially. Watch out for the laptop!
Yeah.
I apologise, I almost kicked my laptop.
Yeah, but Lacrancia is now a broken character. Because she is all-powerful. Because she is now pretty much God.
You know who she couldn't beat?
Denny Crane.
And Cthulhu.
And Cthulhu, of course.
Cthulhu, the angry god.
Anyway. Now, this leads us to two problems. Yeah. This leads to two problems. First of all, Arameth made a blood oath to the gods, because you still have to do that shit, that he would revenge his family by killing Gloria. Well, that's out the fucking window now, because he didn't kill Gloria. She did. Lacrancia killed Gloria, so he's broken his blood oath, which means nothing now to many people, but what it would mean is he wouldn't be allowed access into the afterworld, whichever place he was going to end up anyway, because he's not been able to fulfill his honor oath.
Right. Yeah.
The second thing is he's now nowhere near as powerful as Lacrancia.
Oh, shit.
Basically, if we could go back power level and assume it's a max of 1 to 10, Arameth is now 1 and she's 10. That's pretty much where the scale is. She is a broken character. She has no need for Arameth as a fighter. Not that she'll say it. And now the relationship is knackered because even in Arameth's mind, he doesn't see her as a god. He sees her as a powerful friend, powerful ally, just happens to have the powers of a god.
A bit of god in her.
Yeah, and
the
thing is, right, and Arameth trusts her completely. If there's anyone you'd actually trust to have godlike powers, it would be her. All this time, Arameth has just recently found out that he's part god. So he hates himself. Because he's realised he's everything he despises. That he realises where his power comes from. He's part god. Technically, he's only quarter god, but he's part god.
He's a grandson.
He's a half dryad, a quarter centaur, quarter god.
Fucked up next to.
Well, yeah, there's actually a scene where we.
I don't think we need to get into that.
But there's a scene where there's a scene where we take the piss out of it. But so basically, they say, look.
Well, Zeus missed his golden shower.
Well, basically, the last thing they can do in this is go face Creus himself. That's the last thing they can do. They've killed everyone else, but the game is still going on, so they have to defeat Creus. And they come up with this plan where they're just going to go in, kill a demon, and then attack one-on-one. What Arameth intends to do is die in battle. He's going to die in battle, but the idea being that if he dies, it'll push Lacrancia further on to do what needs to be done, because she'll be too busy trying to protect him. Lacrancia, however, has made a deal with Nemesis, her mother. By the time they get to Creus, Lacrancia subdues Arameth, tying him to a pillar using magical chains that can't be broken, and goes off to face Creus on her own. On the face of it, it looks like she's trying to protect Arameth. What she's actually doing is trying to die so she can give her power to Arameth. Basically, a transfer, because she knows she's nowhere near as good a fighter. Mm-hmm. And with all that power, she won't know what to do with it. So when she dies, and Aramith gets the power, and there's a bit where the spirit talk to each other. It's not important at this point. Aramith ascends to essentially godhood.
Alright.
Which doesn't make him on equal level to Kreis, but good enough to put up a fight. And there's this big fight between the two, where Kreis talks about rewriting the universe in his own way, and think about it, we could bring your parents back, and Aramith basically says that death, he explains that death is a natural occurrence, and that we can't rewrite tragedies just for a smile, and it ends to Aramith defeating Kreis and becoming known throughout the land for all mythical beings in the land. He earns a reputation of Titan Killer, which means he's the most feared being in all of the mortal world, all the Earth world, because there is no one more powerful than him. And he does go around just killing demons. And then in the second book, Nemesis comes to him and tells him that Lacrisia is currently a prisoner of the underworld, more specifically Tartarus. Now, you might have heard of Tartarus. If any of our listeners haven't, Tartarus is where gods go when they die. And it's ruled over by Hades. And Hades is making Lacrisia's afterlife a living hell, torturing her. Because what Hades wants to do is control the universe. Because Zeus is dead, Kreis is dead, and by the way, Kreis is his prisoner. Because obviously he died, so now he's under Hades' control. So what does Aramith decide to do? Go in the underworld and get her out. With the help of...
Hercules.
Nope. Actually, with the help of Charon.
Jesus Christ Superstar.
No. And if you don't know who Charon is, he is the riverman. He's the boatman. And Charon actually is a pretty badass character, and I have to say, I did not write his character. It was Lord of that did. But that story will be hopefully coming out within the next 5 years. We're still working on it. We're doing the draft at the moment. But yeah, so basically Raquel...
That's a draft?
That's a draft. This is all draft work. We've written the entirety of the first book as a very rough draft, and we're writing the second book as a draft. So that's where we're at the moment, and that's Raquel Aramith.
Cool, dude.
And I'm the Lone Walker 1.
Yes, yes.
And this, though you can't see it, is my face.
Anyway, open forum!
Yay!
Before we move on to the main event of today's show, the open forum. I've just got one thing to talk about in the open forum. It's a bit of news actually given to us by Lowness Wolf.
Secretly, there's a giant asteroid heading towards Earth and it's shaped like a bottle.
Now, we've probably all heard of Amanda Todd by now.
Yes.
This tragedy.
Is this what I think it is?
It might be. I'm not
is
psychic.
Really? I thought you were.
No.
My mind.
Anyway, it appears that Anonymous...
Yes! It is what I thought it was! Hey, Anonymous! God bless you.
Dan, can we think about that later? As nice as the image it is. But,
Should see what happens.
I know, because you're holding the stress ball, it's kind of easy to get
anyway, Anonymous... That's not a big of a stress ball for him, but Anonymous have revealed who the person who's bullying Amanda Todd is. This person's received death threats, has had shit thrown at his house.
Well,
not literal shit.
I applaud up till that point.
And basically, his life is being made a living hell. Not only, but this is some of the stuff we found out about the guy. Yeah.
Amanda Todd?
Amanda Todd was a girl who committed suicide after a lot of cyberbullying because she's like taking pictures of herself. Like,
oh yeah.
Is that thing go around like this to support?
Yeah.
Because liking a status will bring it back, of course.
That's why I don't like it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Not focusing on Amanda Todd, focusing on the guy that did the bullying.
Yeah,
here's what they found out. Do you know why he was able to access his stuff and all that shit?
Family?
No, he was a former employee of Facebook.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So, Anonymous have targeted both Facebook and the guy.
Oh, God.
So, yeah.
I
Personally, as long as, this guy, so at this point, I'm just like, dude, Anonymous have found you. You're on your fucking own.
Yeah, there was no...
I'm not even going to bother arguing the morality of it because I'd twat the guy. I'd beat the living shit out of him. And you know me. I'm a nice guy, pretty much.
I'd kneecap him with an Asda basket.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no. Or a Tesco's, or a Sainsbury's, or a Morrison's, or an Aldi, or a Lidl, or a pound stretcher.
Wait, Rose.
You could just say, or any other store.
Or any other store who is willing to give me free gummy bears.
Walmart,
Kmart.
Anyway, moving on.
Hey, got it.
So yeah.
For you Germans, the mock-off.
No. The Markov. I like
That's
that.
what it's called.
Yeah, I like that.
For the Italians, pizza. That'll do.
No, wow, stereotype much?
Yes.
Yeah, but anyway. So, the problem is, once Anonymous are after you, what the fuck are you gonna do?
Anonymous are basically like the hounds of hell. There is very little way to get rid of them.
Any more news? Any more stuff for Open Forum? You want to talk about?
No. Well, I mean, the Anonymous thing was.
Yeah.
But I.
Yeah.
The thing about
I
Anonymous.
did see an interesting piece of cyberbullying the other day, actually.
Oh, aye.
It wasn't really cyberbullying, it was just pointing out the fucking ignorance of people.
Oh, yeah.
I had one of those ones, if you know who this is, but don't know who this is, you're a fucking disgrace. And one of the pictures was this chick who had posed. It might have been that Amanda Todd.
It might have been.
I don't know the picture.
Was she white?
And
black?
you were white, well tanned.
Yeah, that was Amanda Todd.
She looked like a pretty young lass like that.
Yeah.
And then the other picture was Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
But the thing was, it was the comment that was the bullying.
Yeah.
Because not the comment itself was bullying someone. It was they picked up on this comment and they got her profile picture and put it next to it and goes, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah.
Because the comment was, "Why? Who's that?"
Yeah.
Why is that? Who's that dude?
Yeah.
And she was wearing a Nirvana t-shirt.
Yeah.
And it was, "Are you fucking serious? You're wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, but you don't know what Kurt Cobain looks like."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't agree with pointing it out, but at the same point, it is, you are a fucking moron.
I reckon that.
Don't wear the shirt if you don't know the band.
Yeah,
totally.
That's basically. I mean, you do get annoyed, and I don't know about you or Dan or you see when you see people on Facebook or any of these sites who are just mind-numbingly stupid. I mean,
it's the whole hipster movement.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the thing is, like, what happens is they take things and they assign hipsterness to it, like a plague of locusts that descend upon a hobby.
Okay.
Oh, it's essentially the hipster thing is that take something which is good and then claim you liked it when they were underground.
Yeah.
And then just be like, oh my god, like, we like...
I actually say a good meme the other day was it ain't hipster unless you've got your typewriter in the park. There was this dude
with a typewriter in the park?
With a fucking typewriter in the middle of the park.
I've seen that.
Typing, I was like, and tattoos. Apparently tattoos have now become hipster because all hipsters have tattoos. And skinny jeans have now become hipster because that's what they wear.
What skinny jeans have become and what they were devices to stop men from having sex. They are like compressors.
Stop you from doing fucking anything you wear the fuckers.
And
dark rimmed glasses as well. The nerd glasses.
I don't like those glasses anyway.
I actually have a male friend who wears skinny jeans, and he comes into school, complains that he can't get his wallet out of his pocket. Can't do this. Like, well, wear proper jeans.
No, I used to call them my friends who wore skinny jeans.
You didn't have them?
Birds.
I like it. But anyway, any more open forum stuff?
No, I slapped a 15-year-old sexual harasser today, but that's about it.
Were they 15-year-old or were they harassing?
No, they were 15-year-old. Quick backhand.
Right, so when I said, were they 15-year-old, the answer is no, they were 15-year-old.
Yes.
It's time for the hashtag show quiz!
Woo! Hey, Stephen, guess what?
What?
Questions!
I seen a pretty girl yesterday.
Scale of 1 to 10, dude?
Oh, you've seen her.
Oh, yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, nice, dude.
Alright. Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about. Sorry.
Supermarket.
So, yes, it is time for the hashtag show quiz, just to remind everyone on what happened the last time.
Me and Dan, we had a friendly discussion, we had a cup of tea, and sit down, and then the chair's grumpy and it's looking at me.
But basically,
Adam
was able to capture the hashtag show quiz championship from Dan King.
I left it in the other room as well.
So before we start, while I'll guess the title, I'm going to interview Dan for a little bit. Now, Dan, you have the opportunity to become the first ever 2-time hashtag show quiz champion.
Yes.
Obviously, you've picked a subject that you know very, very well.
Yes.
So how do you feel about your chances?
Good.
Excellent. Now, Adam.
Yes.
You shocked the entire world.
When
at least a few people that watch show, when you were able to somehow pull out a victory against Stanley K. Adamson to become the hashtag Shout Quiz champion.
Yes.
First of all, your thoughts on being able to pull out such a win?
Firstly, I'd like to thank Satan.
Adam, this is a championship, not the Oscars, please.
Oh, right. I'd like to thank the referee, Mike Satan, who helped me a lot over the years. I think that it was mainly luck and knowledge of Bill Bailey's tour and guessing on the questions that were given to me because Dan passed and I guessed and I got one of them right.
Okay, so basically you feel good about your chances, yeah?
Nothing this distance.
I feel like I am the most adequate in the world!
Nothing this distance, it looks as if I'm squashing your head.
So anyway, here's how this edition of the quiz will work. Quiz number 5. There are a total of 5 rounds. General knowledge, 2 specialised rounds, the board, that's right, it's the border questions, and a special 5th round. Now, the first one I say is general knowledge, it's over to anyone, which means it's a buzzer round. So can we hear your buzzers? Dan, your buzzer goes boom! And Adam, your buzzer goes
Time setting on.
yeah. So we want to hear those buzzers at the same time. 3, 2, 1. Your buzzer's going to start choking you, Adam. So your buzzers in 3, 2, 1.
Boom!
Yeah, so you might want to pick a different buzzer, dude.
I'll say what we've got in the draw.
Thank God you opened that one.
Don't tell me about the drugs.
No, use that. No. This one I'll do. Alcohol! Woo! Yeah, I'll do.
Okay, so at the same time, 3, 2, 1.
Alcohol!
Okay.
There we go.
Right, so the first one is a general knowledge round. So all you gotta do is hit the buzzer and give
I
answer.
think I'm going to work with just the woo bit.
Okay, just do the woo.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
if you buzz in and you're unable to get the answer correct, or if you pass, the next person will get a chance to answer the question. If they can't get it right, I will reveal the answer and we move on.
Okay.
So one more time with the buzzers, 3, 2, 1.
Woo!
Okay. Here we start with.
Sorry, I've got a bit of a bad
If your
throat.
buzzer fucks you up, it's your own fault.
If my buzzer backs me up, I'll just make a random noise and wheel my arms in the air like I just don't care.
Right.
That's how he censored himself, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, general knowledge. 12 questions.
Okay.
3. Oh, by the way, if there are any dispute on the answers, as it's happened before in the last quiz, although I was right, thankfully,
The other show.
right? Redress it at the end of the round.
Okay.
We'll do some editing magic, and we'll reveal if
This
I was
show
right or
isn't
wrong.
edited.
Anyway, general knowledge.
Yes.
3, 2, 1. In what year was Adolf Hitler born?
Boom!
Yes.
1899?
No, incorrect.
1911.
No, 1889.
Bugger!
Question number 2. According to the last census, what is the population of Stanley County Durham?
Woo!
Yes.
30,000.
No. Dan?
23,000.
16,200. It's actually gone down by like 2,000.
Thank fuck for that.
Question number 3. What is the best-selling book of all time going by UK sales alone?
Boom!
Yes.
50 Shades of Grey.
No. Thankfully. It's getting there.
Woo!
Yes.
One of the Harry Potter series.
No, Da Vinci Code. 5 million.
This is a random trivia fact. Do you know what the second most stolen book in all of the world is?
Bible.
Yeah.
The first one's the Guinness Book of Records, isn't it? Yeah. Question number 4. Not including Alan Davies, which male has the most appearances as a guest on QI?
Woo!
Yes.
Bill Bailey.
Correct.
Woo!
Question number 5. If you were born on January 1st, 2012, what animal would be your Chinese zodiac?
Woo!
Yes.
Dragon.
No.
Ah.
Dan?
Rats?
No. Rabbit. Question number 6. Who is the first character to have English dialogue in Star Wars A New Hope? Basically, who gets the first speaking line. So no.
Boom!
Yes.
C-3PO.
Correct. Did you hear that? They've shut down the main reactor. Will be destroyed for sure. This is madness. And then Leonidas walks in. Question number 7. In the year 2000, who was voted FHM's sexiest woman out of 100? So it's the top 100.
year?
What?
What year?
In the year 2000.
Year 2000.
Yeah.
Woo! Random guess.
Yeah.
Angelina Jolie.
No.
FHM UK.
It was the...
He just got trivia.
Yeah. It was the
So
top,
FHM though, right?
It was FHM's top 100 sexiest women of all time.
I know the magazine.
Yeah,
2000.
and she was voted number 1.
Fuck's sake.
And as I said, it's not Angelina Jolie.
Sorry.
Who was fit in the year 2000? Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Lopez.
It was a Jen, at least.
Question number 8. On what date will American Thanksgiving fall on this year?
What day?
What date? So I need the month and the day number.
Woo!
Yes.
November 5th.
Incorrect. Dan?
No.
No.
There was a Thursday.
Right.
November
Feels like the belt.
15th.
November 22nd.
Feels like the belt's giving me a hug.
Question number
I know
9.
the Lions will play the Packers.
Okay. Question number 9. What species of duck is Donald, Scrooge McDuck, and the nephews? So what species of duck is Donald, Scrooge McDuck, and the nephews Huey, Dewey, and the
Woo!
Yes?
Common garden.
No? Dan?
Oh, species of duck. White.
Woo!
Peking.
Oh, that's it.
Peking duck.
I was about to generally say.
So when I eat Peking duck, I'm eating Donald Duck.
And Scrooge McDuck and Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Thanks for ruining one of my favourite meals.
Okay, question number 10. Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of what?
What was that?
Yes?
What was it again?
Triskaidekaphobia is the fear of what?
Woo!
13 sides. Or was it just 13?
The number 13, I give you it. The number 13, yes. Triskaidekaphobia.
Alright.
Okay, number 11. Number 11. What is the best-selling PC game of all time?
Woo!
Yes?
Sims 2.
Correct.
Yes!
20 million. And the final question of the general knowledge round, question number 12. Who is taller, Robert Downey Jr. or Spike Dudley?
Woo!
Yes.
Robert Downey Jr.
Incorrect. Dan?
Spike Dudley.
Correct.
I wonder how Dan could have figured
He
that
would have said
out.
Spike Dudley. He knows it's
I
wrestling.
was actually going to say Spike.
Oh.
Yeah, he knows it's wrestling.
Fair enough.
And I know
They should
my
have
Iron
had-
Man as well.
They should have had Spike Dudley play Iron Man.
Okay, now, this is
Iron
the
Dudley.
first...
I will slap you for that.
This is the first of the 2 specialised rounds. This is where the contenders have chosen a specialised round for me to ask them questions about. Now, Adam, as champion, you're going to go first. Now, you got your special subject here. So, first, in true, mastermind style,
Yep.
your name.
My name is Azeroth.
Your name is different every time. I love it.
No. My name is Azeroth Caulfield.
And your occupation?
My occupation, I am the official shoe cleaner for the Court of Elves.
And your chosen subject is?
The Ross Noble's official gig, Unreal Time.
So, Caulfield, I can't quite pronounce the name, it's of a different dialect to mine. Official shoe cleaner to the Court of Elves. Your chosen subject. You straight tickled down, that
Shoe cleaner.
Your chosen subject is Unreal Time.
Ross
Noble gig. Now, remember, I'll ask the question.
Man, I'll fuck out.
If you obviously answer correctly, you get a point. If you pass, well, then we'll redress at the very end.
Yeah.
If you get it wrong, that's it. You don't get it answered again. If you pass and get it wrong, then alright. So and then Dan can take any questions you've been.
What are you doing?
Run the ball.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dan has the chance to answer any questions you may not been able to answer. Okay.
Okay.
So, question number 1.
Yes.
According to the intro, what is no easier than a blind man to see the pigs of reality?
Oh, it's to get a horse to drink from the pool of something.
Incorrect.
Alright.
Alright, question number 2. What animal has infested the studio according to Ross?
Oh, voles.
Correct.
Right.
Question number 3. According to Ross, what are the French obsessed with?
Wheat-based products.
Correct. Question number 4. What did Jack Bauer apparently oil himself up with to escape his cage?
A greasy goose.
Yeah, greasy goose fat. You said both. Question number 5. What kind of hats do the people in the front row say they're wearing that Ross keeps referring to as fishing hats?
Oh, official math hats. They were issued with them in Hungary.
I gave that math hats. Question number 6. What did the drunk stroke man in the front row have a council grant for, according to Ross?
Oh, fat weasels. That's not my answer.
I know, I guessed.
I
get a point.
Oh, for oh, it was checking the gutters.
Yes, inspecting the gutters.
Yes.
Question number 7. According to Ross, he is a badass Hare Krishna with what in his mind?
Dancing.
Yeah.
I'm a badass Krishna with dancing on my mind.
Question number 8. According to Ross, the portrait artist in Leicester Square couldn't draw which part of the human body?
Eyes.
Correct. Question number 9. What device was Ross trying to retrieve that was guarded by the old woman wool laser defense system?
Oh, George Foreman grill.
Yes, correct. Question number 10. Why did Barry White have to die?
Because he knew that they'd sexed up the dossier.
Yes, that's correct. Question number 11. What kind of people can really dance on the revolving dance floor?
Drunk people.
Incorrect.
Right.
Number 11. Question number 12. According to Ross, what could a person make a fortune doing?
Dad, you look like a retarded unicorn.
Adam?
Yes, sorry.
According to Ross, what could a person make a fortune doing?
I have no clues either, that's annoying. Because...
No, this round you don't, baby.
Please don't call me baby.
I was using it generically.
Use your face generically. But I do, to be
Better
fair.
than that, Dan fucks it.
I could try.
Are there any questions after this one?
No.
Right.
You can't pass.
Selling laser defense systems.
I'm afraid not. So,
You
Dan.
could have passed it, we just would have came right back.
So, Dan, 3 possible steals here. I'll be impressed. I'll be honest. Question number 1. According to the intro, what is it no easier than a blind man to see the pig of reality? So why is it no easier than for a blind man to see the pig of reality?
Taking a beer for Jody.
No, an armless man to throw open the doors of perception.
Right.
Yeah.
It was on the tip of your tongue.
Same thing, man.
Question 11. What kind of people can really dance on the revolving dance floor?
I know that when you say I'm going to remember the entire lead up to the joke and then I'm going to kick myself. Although not very high in these G's.
Turtle people.
No, people who work in fairs.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense.
And number 12. According to Ross, what could a person make a fortune doing? I shouldn't ask you. But
hooking, blowing.
no, selling the cover of impressive books.
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah!
Sit your monkey ass down.
Right. It's time for Dan Adamson's turn. Unfortunately, Dan Adamson couldn't be here, so instead we've got the Geek King. So, sir, your name,
The Geek King.
occupation,
The Geek King.
and your chosen subject.
The Marvel Civil War graphic novel.
I have no chance!
Now, again, 12 questions on your specialist subject, the Civil War graphic novel. You can pass on any question and we'll come back to it at the end. If you get any question wrong, whether it's the first time or whether you've passed and come back to it, Adam will have a chance to answer at the end of the round.
No, he won't.
Are you ready, Dan?
Yeah.
Question number 1 starting now. Which member of the Avengers is spat on as they leave the church at the beginning of Civil War?
Tony Stark.
That's correct. How do I have my pen?
Click.
Oh, it said switched on. Question number 2. During an interview with CNN, who is described as a boy who, by all accounts, couldn't even name the President of the United States?
Speedball.
Correct. Question number 3. The arrival of which person does Doctor Strange say does not bode well?
Uta the Watcher.
Correct. Question number 4. What G word does Invisible Girl describe the exponential curve the super beings in... I'll repeat the question because I completely fucked up. What G word does Invisible Girl describe as the exponential curve the super beings is following and the apocalypse we're facing if unlicensed activity isn't brought under control? Which singular G word?
I'm moving.
Growing?
No.
I'm moving in a circle.
Question number 5. RABL is an acronym for what 4-word news bulletin that appears on the outdoor Sony news screen at midnight? So RABL stands for 4 words. What were those 4 words that appeared on the news bulletin on the Sony news screen at midnight? RABL.
Registration Acts. BL.
Mm-hmm.
Registration Acts. Being legislated?
Incorrect. I'm afraid I can't give you that one.
That's alright.
Question number 6. What crime following the Registration Act had Patriot committed for which he was hunted by government agents?
Stock and mugging.
Correct. Question number 7. What phrase does Wiccan repeat over and over again as a teleport spell?
I want to be somewhere else, I want to be somewhere else, I want to be somewhere else.
Correct. Question number 8. Upon revealing himself to be Peter Parker, who does Tony Stark say Spider-Man is bigger than?
Elvis.
Correct. Question number 9. What does Emma Frost ask Tony Stark after telling him not to try emotional blackmail with her?
Oh, where were the Avengers when Genosha was destroyed?
Correct.
Where were you when our babies and children died?
Yeah, where were the Avengers when Genosha died? And the second part completely correct as well. Question number 10. Which character takes up the false ID of Cooper Payton, an engineer from Long Island?
Daredevil.
Correct. Very impressed with that one. Question 11. Who was killed by the fake Thor?
Goliath.
Correct. And question number 12. What reason does the Punisher give for joining Captain America's group?
Because they've got bad guys on their side.
Correct. They're hiring criminals.
Yeah.
Right, Adam, you've got a chance to steal question 4 and 5.
No, I don't.
Go
ahead. Are you ready?
Yeah, go on.
Question number 4. What G word does the Invisible Girl describe the exponential curve the super beings is following and the apocalypse we're facing if unlicensed activity isn't brought under control?
You know what the funny thing is? When I was doing the OC, he told me to slow down. Since I don't quite understand any of those words at that pace, and it's a singular G word, I'm assuming what you said was a bad thing.
What's your guess?
I don't know, because I don't know what those words were. But
okay, what G word does the Invisible Girl describe the exponential curve the super beings is following and the apocalypse we're facing if unlicensed activity isn't brought under control? I'll give you a clue, it's on a fucking acronym! Clues in the fact that I said word!
Just go for it, dude.
Gasp.
Gobbledygook.
I was going to say gobbledygook as well.
Gobbledygook.
I was going to say gobbledygook when I heard him say the stuff.
What is this gobbledygook?
Alright.
I was going to say, that's...
question number 5.
Yeah.
RABL is an acronym for what 4-word news bulletin that appears on the outdoor Sony news screen at midnight?
It's the act of that, it's the Registration Act.
So what's your answer?
I tried for BLs.
So was it?
I don't know. Registration Act becomes legalised.
Can't give you it. Very close. Registration Act becomes law.
Yeah, I knew that was the last one.
Damn you bugger words that I'm going to rape you up to Jackson.
Well, that's a little extreme.
No extreme, we rape it up to Jackson twice.
7 times in the face removed.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the picture ball! Picture ball!
Hey, Stephen, guess what? Bored! Woo! Drunk quiz!
Everybody loves picture ball!
Apart from blind
questions, all you know, it's a question board!
Apart from blind
That's not the official theme.
Apart from blind people.
Okay.
They don't like the picture board.
This is basically what we have, ladies and gentlemen. 12 questions. They have no idea what the categories are. They have no idea where those questions are. All they're going to do is pick a number.
Can't see the fucking numbers.
Well, I could have tilted the screen, you know, because I've got the answers here.
Dan!
And I kind of need you to be further away than possible. Thank you.
I apologise.
Now, when you are picking these,
Yes.
basically all you got to do is pick a number.
Yes.
And I will read out the question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you are unable to answer the question or you get a question wrong, the opponent gets a chance to steal.
Okay.
So, what we're going to do is we're going to let the contender get the first pick in this occasion. So, Dan, that would be you. Please pick a number from the board.
Number 2.
Number 2. So, number 2. Right. Internet law. I'm going to give you 3 internet laws. One of them is not real. Tell me which of them is not real. You can either tell me which law is not real, which number.
Right.
It makes it easier. So, number 2. You ready? God is everywhere except 4chan. Rule 41. Rule 42. Nothing is sacred. Rule 43. The more beautiful and pure a thing is, the more satisfying it is to corrupt it.
And this is... Which one's not
Which one is
law?
not an actual internet law out of those 3?
I'm pretty sure number 42 is one.
Right?
Pretty sure.
So you'll think it's either going to be number 41 or 43?
I know 4chan appears in a lot of the fucking laws.
Mm-hmm.
And ironically enough, number 43 sounds more like something you would come up with.
Okay.
So I'm going to go 43.
Incorrect.
Yeah.
Adam?
42.
Incorrect. 41. God is everywhere except 4chan. I made that one up.
Oh.
So none on that one, I'm afraid.
Well, quite clear.
Interesting thinking. Dan.
Right. I was going with 42 because 42 is from Assassin's Creed. Nothing is sacred.
Yeah.
I was just trying to work it out.
Yeah. Okay, so Adam, please pick a number from the board.
Number 6.
Number 6.
There's actually method to my thinking this time.
Number 6. Right. Number 6 is right. Number 6 is opening thesaurus.
Okay.
Basically, I've taken the opening theme of a cartoon show.
Okay.
But change the words.
So I have to figure out what it is.
You've got to figure out what the opening show is. You don't need to work out what the words are, just the show. Existence share similarities to a tornado-like storm within the city.
Tasmanian Devil.
Incorrect, Dan. Existence share similarities to a tornado-like storm within the city. So basically, I've taken the opening line of a song.
Oh, feck! Now I know what it is.
Yeah.
DuckTales?
Correct.
Life is like a hurricane.
You Duckburg.
I was thinking hurricane, so I was going, well, Tasmanian Devil, he spins around.
Yeah, you weren't thinking about it that way, were you?
No, you could think about it. Dr.
So,
Pepper.
Dan, please pick a number from... Please pick a number from the board.
Number 9.
Number 9. Number 9.
He said don't think about the...
Alright, internet laws.
For folks.
Here we go. Law number 59. No one does it like Gaston. No exceptions. Number 60. It needs more pumpkin. No exceptions. 61. You will watch all the porn. No exceptions.
I know which one I live by. It's definitely not pumpkin or Gaston. Number 60. It needs more pumpkin. No exceptions. I don't think that's right.
You're saying it needs more pumpkin.
Yeah.
Incorrect. Adam?
51.
There isn't a 59.
59.
59, no one does it like Gaston.
Yeah.
Incorrect. You will watch all the porn, no exceptions. I made that one up.
God damn you, Stephen. Why must you keep making up things about porn and
I
Jesus?
think mine make more sense.
He's making up rules about porn and Jesus.
Adam, please pick a number from the board.
Go with 7. Why not?
Number 7. Okay.
Yes.
Number 7. Right. You got to tell me what connects these.
Okay.
You will get a clue after I tell you them, okay?
Okay.
So, Adam, what connects Iron Man, Little John, Final Fantasy, and Talk Like a Pirate Day? Your clue is, what's in the name?
Okay.
So what connects Iron Man, Little John, Final Fantasy, Talk Like a Pirate Day? So what connects them? What do they have in common? That kind of thing.
Oh! They're all like acronyms for things online, like IMFF and stuff like that.
Incorrect. Dan?
It's good thinking.
It is good thinking.
It is good thinking.
Screw you when you're bad thinking.
Don't know what L.
I replace your thinking.
I don't know what LJ would be.
I take your thinking.
TLAPD would be. But
Talk Like a Pirate Day.
Sir, I take your thinking and replace it with my own.
What's in the name?
Yeah. Iron Man, Little John, Final Fantasy, and Talk Like a Pirate Day.
That's quite proud of myself.
I didn't say it was a bad one. I just said it was not the correct answer to this particular occasion.
But in life, there's no right or wrong answer.
I'm afraid there is. and I usually have the wrong ones.
Is it that they've all got something to do with bird?
Is that your official answer?
Yeah.
I'm afraid it's incorrect. Their names are misleading. Iron Man's suit is not made of iron. Little John was tall. Final Fantasy was not the last Final. Not the Final Fantasy. It's not like Pirate Day. You don't sound anything like a pirate because that way of speaking was invented by the actor. So none of you got that one, but nice thinking, both of you, sir. Okay.
High five for nice thinking.
So Dan, please pick a number from the board.
Come on, internet rule.
Come on, internet rules.
Number 11.
Number 11.
Internet law. Internet law. Internet law.
No, behave yourself. It's a lyric one. Ready? So again, another opening entrance. Are you ready? Okay. One desires to become the greatest as no one has ever been.
Pokemon.
Correct.
I knew that before you said it. When I read the line, I knew it.
So, Adam, please pick a number from the board.
I'm going to go with number 3, Jared.
Number 3. It's a limerick.
Woo!
Who is this limerick talking about?
Okay.
A rather mischievous sod. He's ascended to the ranks of a god. His life was made hard by the back credit card, so kneel before General Zod.
Doug Walker, the Nostalgia Critic.
Correct.
Yay! Alcohol! Woo!
Dan, please pick a number from the board.
From the board?
From the board.
From the board. Hello, senor. This is my picture.
Shut up!
I made this picture for you.
Number 4.
Number 4.
Internet law.
No.
Limerick!
Yay!
Are you ready? Right. Here's a funny thing. In a Disney movie, I actually sing. I perform magic with words. Archimedes is my bird, and my job is to assist the young king.
Merlin.
Correct. Merlin the Wizard.
Merlin the Wizard.
Adam?
Yes?
Please pick a number from the board.
What numbers do we have?
1, 5, 8, 10, 12.
Well, I think 8 might look a bit more, it might bulk me out a bit more. I think 1 is a bit more slimming, though.
Pick a fucking number.
I'm gonna go for 3.14.
A number that's on the board.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 10.
Who needs the kid alone? You only want pie.
Everybody wants pie.
Yeah,
Number 10 is another limerick. Am I ready?
Yes.
Each of us are small. Each of us are rather animated. Each of us are rather mad.
Where's the rhyme? That's what I want to know.
That's not limerick, it's the lyric.
Lyric.
Oh, they said limerick?
No, lyric.
Okay, so...
Each of us are small. Each of us are Each of us are small.
Tiny Toons.
Tiny Toons.
We're tiny.
Literally.
Yeah.
Dan, please pick a number from the board.
Oh,
got 1, 5, 8, and 12.
Number 5.
Number 5. Okay. What connects Superman, John Jones, Supergirl, and Thor?
And the clue's what's my name?
Yeah, what's my name? It's kind of the clue. So what's similar about those?
This one's quite involved with words.
This is probably one of the few we're going to get an argument on. That's why I was worried. I did address this at the before the start of the show, like when I was planning it.
Right.
This is the one question I kind of worried about.
I see my answer's probably wrong. It's right, but it's wrong.
Is that they all adapt alter egos?
I'll give you that, yeah. Their superheroes actually their real identity.
Yeah.
So they adopt alter egos.
I was gonna go with the whole idea that they're all aliens.
That was my first thought, but with what's my name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'll give you that one.
Thor is while he is a god, and there is certain aspects of him that is made to believe that he's.
To be fair, I never would have gotten that.
The only problem was, once I decided on the question, my worry was, well, Superman's actually Kal-El. So it was like...
Well, it's Kal-El becomes Clark Kent, John Jones becomes John Jones.
I'll go with number 1.
Number 1?
Yeah.
I can never remember what the call Superman. I know it's Kara.
Right, Adam.
Pretty.
What connects a vampire, a wizard, a Soviet terrorist, and a police commissioner? Clue 4 for the price of 1.
They've all been played by the same actor.
Correct.
I couldn't tell you who it is to save my life.
Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman.
He played Dracula.
Yes.
He played Sirius Black.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the terrorist, and he played Police
Force
Commissioner
One.
Gordon.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Well,
Get off.
I'm quite happy out of that one.
Right, Dan. Number 8 or number 12?
My Harrison Ford. That's my play.
Dan, number 8 or number 12?
Number 8.
In that low.
Right, internet law.
Oh,
Yes!
Which of these is the fake one? Now, you've got a great track record with this, Dan. Number 17. Every win fails eventually. Number 18. Everything that can be labelled can be hated. Number 19. If you post it, the trolls will come. So 17, 18, or 19.
So, continue.
I'm going
trying.
to.
So,
Number 17.
incorrect. Adam?
Okay, what were the laws again?
If you listened the first time,
I was listening.
rather than messing around.
I'm not messing around.
17. Every win fails eventually. 18. Everything that could be labelled can be hated. Number 19. If you post it, the trolls will come.
See, I was about to say.
She said no.
I was about to say I'm torn between the last two, but that's kind of redundant. But the thing is, the last one sounds like something you would write, but the other one seems like it's something that the internet wouldn't write. So can I hear the last two again?
Everything that can be labelled can be hated. If you post it, the trolls will come.
Can I hear them in French? Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with number 18.
No, if you post it, the trolls will come.
God damn you, Stephen, and your wily ways.
I think this leaves you with number 12, which is a limerick.
Yay!
He's quite the awesome man until things don't go... I'll start again, my apologies. He's quite the awesome man until things don't go according to plan. If you're going to cook, grab one of his books and be sure to use a non-stick pan.
Oh, it's someone who doesn't use... okay. Go on, Ramsey.
Correct.
Motherfucker. I didn't do
that. I have no friends in this.
Yeah, put that down before I put it up your ass. Did you just mirror? Did you just mirror bump yourself?
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Gotta give you that one.
Hey, let's drink it.
Let's
put all the numbers back.
Okay. Now
I'm gonna need this tomorrow during the hashtag talk.
So now it's the 5th and final round. It is returning from last month. It's the quote.
Oh.
I give you a quote. You name me the person that said it.
Oh God.
It's a mix of real people and fake people, so fictional and non-fiction people are right.
Okay.
Right.
Let's do
12
this.
questions.
Let's do this.
It's very, very close.
Is it a buzzer round?
Yes, it's a buzzer round.
Okay, so woo! That one.
And
Boom.
right, are you ready?
Yes.
Number 1. Betrayal!
Woo!
Yes?
Spooning one, no right, Walla.
Yes.
The what?
Spooning one, no right.
Number 2. Are you ready?
Yes.
Number 2. It is utter arse gravy of the worst kind.
Woo!
Yes?
Nostalgia critic.
No. Dan, your test.
Hear it again, please.
It is utter arse gravy of the worst kind.
Arse gravy.
Yeah. It's not me.
Never heard the word arse gravy before in your life. Not put together anyway.
It is utter arse gravy of the worst kind.
Stephen Fry.
Correct. Number 3. Turn to page 394. Yes?
Alan Rickman, Severus Snape.
Yeah, Severus Snape. Number 4. I know you are, and I am in a lost Egyptian tomb with my stalker. The worst part is I'm going to have to listen to John and Batman say I told you so.
Woo!
Yeah.
Hawkgirl.
Correct.
Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to think of.
Number 5. A hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple as reassuring a...
Boom!
Yes?
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, Bruce Wayne, Batman. I'll finish the quote. Even a man doing something as simple as reassuring as putting a coat around a young boy's shoulders to let him know the world hasn't ended.
Is it been long enough to say spoilers?
Next one.
Yes.
Now I freely admit that my method was wrong, but I hope you can understand my motive and will accept
Woo!
it. Yes?
It's General Paxton.
No.
I know it's a general of some description.
Now I freely admit that my method was wrong, but I hope you can understand my motive and will accept this explanation and this apology.
I see.
Dismissed.
I remember who it was, I just don't know his name.
Well, that sucks for you, don't
because
it?
it was referenced in Nostalgia Critic.
Well, that sucks for you, don't it? Dan?
General Patton.
Yeah, General Patton.
God damn it, letter X! You got in my way again!
Next. Education, education, education.
We don't need no stinking education.
Woo!
Yes?
Barack Obama.
No. Dan, chance to steal. Education, education, education.
I'm torn because I didn't make a joke then and now so it sounds good.
A teacher's parrot.
Fuck it. Tony Blair.
Correct. Tony Blair. Next. Let's fight his music with our music.
Woo!
Yes?
It's Jack Black's character and Tenacious D against Beelzebub.
Yes?
Yes, I was watching the video last night, man.
Next. Every man dies, not every man really lives.
Woo!
Yes?
Is it the Grim Reaper from the Terry Pratchett series?
No.
Death. Adam. He's called Death.
No, so Dan, chance to steal. Every man dies, not every man really lives. What's his guess, dude?
Paul Newman.
No. Did you ever guess that?
Was it Raz?
No, it was William Wallace or Braveheart.
Of course.
Oh, right.
I was thinking Glenn.
Next. If I'm not back in 5 minutes...
Boom!
Yes?
Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Ace River.
Next. I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all of the things that cry out for peace. I am the protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth, ally to good, nightmare to you.
Woo!
Yes.
Batman.
No. So Dan, I am the hope of the universe. I am the answer to all living things that cry out for peace. I am the protector of the innocent. I am the light in the darkness. I am truth, ally to good, nightmare to you.
I'm about to say Jesus. Though I don't think Jesus was the nightmare to you guy, to be fair.
The Hulk.
Goku or Kakarot from Dragon Ball Z.
How do I know that quote but haven't watched Dragon Ball Z like fully in years?
Last one. Do my ears deceive me? 3. You are down by 1, boy. Staring at me while I'm talking about. Do my ears deceive me? 3. You are down by 1, boy. Any guesses?
Boom.
Yes.
Demetrius.
No.
The Sorcerer from Sorcerer's Apprentice.
No, Genie from Aladdin.
Oh. Well, now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Could have said it a little bit like a genie rather than a stuck-up prick.
Yeah.
When they escape from the Cave of Wonders and says, now, what are my 3 wishes? Genie goes, what, do my ears deceive me? 3. You're down by 1, boy. Actually, no, I never actually wished to get me out of that cave. You did that on your own.
Okay.
Where he tricks the genie.
My apologies for being stupid enough.
Okay, so here are the results.
I'm going to wear it like my Mac. Probably not.
Adam, you have 18.
Dan,
you have 21.
Here you go,
You
Dan.
are the new
I will crown the person.
hashtag show quiz champion. Congratulations, Dan.
Back where you belong.
I'd like to challenge on the grounds that I lost.
You are free to do that.
I'm not. I've got no challenge whatsoever.
Yeah, because you get your rematch clause.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw this at the wall.
So basically, next month.
Oh!
So next month it's going to be you trying to reclaim your
You
championship.
want the spongy ball and the title?
You can't think the spongy ball's mine.
Spongy ball. No.
What?
You'll be challenging.
Okay then. So next month it'll be Dan the Geeking Adamson versus Steve Jones 3-1.
And I'll have a properly made quiz with shiny things.
Because that always ends well, doesn't it, Dan?
It does for you.
It'll be a properly made quiz with shiny things.
So,
A moose!
ladies and gentlemen, that leaves us
A
just
moose!
to let you guys know that you can follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/shouttheshow. Follow us on Tumblr at shouttheshow.tumblr.com. We can find all kinds of things, episode archives, our fan cast, stuff that we think is pretty cool and all that jazz. And don't forget, you can send us any questions that you'd like us to answer on the show. Just by simply going on there, asking us a question. There's a link. It's easy to find.
I do forget, sorry, don't be shameless plugging. There was a friend of mine asked me how a tweet of the week could get on the show. It's very simple. Just make a tweet so awesome that we cannot deny putting it on the show. Or be George Carlin.
Well, he is dead. So.
But the thing is, though,
Not in Dogma, he's not.
in reincarnation purposes.
Anyway, don't forget to visit the artist that does all the art for this show, Arias Cannon.
In person.
At cannonball.dvr.com. That's CANNONBAWL.dvr.com.
Give him chocolates so we can stop stealing out.
Twitter time! You can follow Adam at The Lone Walker 1. That is The Lone Walker #1. There's Dan. You can follow the Geek King on Twitter at Geek King. That is G33K_KNG. That is G33K_KNG.
If you really feel the need to.
And it's me, it's Steve Jones 313, STEVGONES, #3. The next show will be episode number 31 on the weekend of October 27th to October 28th. We thank you very much for joining us, and we wish, basically it's goodbye from Adam.
I am the devil!
Goodbye from Dan.
I'm the champion, baby!
Goodbye from me, I'm the boss. And you will see us all on next week's episodes of...
Well, I will lick your faces!
#...
Yeah.